access the interrogation facility in Petah Tikva and brought to the interrogation room there to the colonel who presented himself and responsible for the interrogation facility. The director of the interrogation center in Petah Tikva, a Major Nazi. They began trying to convince me that I have to confess, and that if not, I would be transferred to a military interrogation. I stayed in the interrogation until 4 a.m. I was returned to the cell, and after about 4 hours at 8 a.m., I brought back to the same place. From the testimony of the interrogators, it appears that Yaakov was under interrogation for 46 to 51 hours that passed the time of his arrest. Interrogation was carried out over 3 times. 18 hours, 16 hours, and 12 hours, between which were approximately 2 breaks, 2.5 hours each. The interrogation was real torture, difficult interrogation that includes number of methods of severe torture. The first method was to handcuff me from behind with my legs tied backward under the chair. The interrogator would push me back so that I was sitting in the seat while leaning backwards, and that at the same time they kept beating me on the stomach. This position was maintained for about 15 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then the interrogator would forcefully yank me forward, and then it would begin all over again. Participating in this method were the director, Avri, Dudu, and Ariel. The second method was to put a handcuff just below my elbow and press down hard for some time. Then let it up and repeat, 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 repeat the same action. My arm would swallow up and bleed. When it bleed, they did not stop, but rather put socks on it and press it again and again and again and again, again and 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 again. After we used this method, a third method was that while I was squatting down on the balls of my feet, the interrogators would push me backward, causing me to feel pain in my back. I simply felt terrified. And I had pains in my back, and I felt that my back was about to really break. But the torture did not stop. When the interrogation was over, at approximately 4 in the morning, they took me down to the cell, and all the time there were noises in the cell, knocking at the door, and I would even hear my own screams during the interrogation, which they had apparently recorded before. The harsh torture was appealed constantly for 4 or 5 days, with all the methods and the interrogation accompanied by slapping, shouting, curses, and threats. On around the 5th day of the interrogation, when I felt that I was really going to break, I tried to get up from the torture chair after begging and crying and shouting, but that did not help me. Then the interrogator named Dudu finally threw himself at me, and he beat me, bruised me, scratched me on the neck and chest, and I found myself with torn shirt, with blood. Then the director, Alvin, took him out, and then they brought me tea biscuits and Coca-Cola. Then Ariel arrived and resumed the torture and final interrogation. Ariel even told me straight out like that, he decided to paralyze me, and then we'll see how good Hamas will do for you. Thankfully, I thought he was serious and thought that I'm going to die, and indeed it was the most difficult day of the interrogation. And all the while I yelled and cried, and I said that I was innocent, but nothing helped me. And this severe torture continued. At approximately 4 a.m. of that day, when I felt that my back was really going to break, I asked for the colonel. Ariel said there is no colonel, we are going to break your back. And it went on, but after about an hour, the colonel arrived and he said it was 4 a.m. What do you want at such an hour? In order to escape the bitter fate that I felt awaited me, told me that I would hand over the weapons. They even required me to sign a confession that I had weapons. And I agreed just to escape the torture. They demanded that I lead them to the place of the weapons. At 7 a.m. they took me to Calkilia in the military chief, accompanied by an army force. Uriel and Hansen were with me. We got to the area there. I began digging, and of course there were no weapons. Hansen went crazy and began yelling and said to me, we went into Calkilia and we killed a child on the way in, and it's all because of you. It's all because of you, and 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 it's all because of you. The incident described by them are clearly reflected in the memos recorded by the GSS interrogators. The above mentioned was offered coffee, cola, and cookies, and wrote the main points of his confession in his own handwriting. They know the above mentioned said that he was prepared to reach an understanding with the colonel. The above mentioned asked to speak with the colonel for a second time at 2:45 a.m. Oz joined the interrogation and wrote a memo which said, during the interrogation, the above mentioned asked to speak with me privately. I asked the interrogator, Adi, to leave the room, and after Adi went out, after he went out, I stayed with him alone. The above mentioned requested that it be made possible for him to meet his wife privately. I told the above mentioned that this was an abnormal request. Nevertheless, I told the above mentioned that I would consider his request. The above mentioned stated that it was his intention to submit his story in outline form, and afterward he would relate his full version. The account continues. Place of interrogation, Calcilia and during town transport. When me, Yoel, Herzl, and Yamek arrived at the place where the materials were supposed to be, based on the debriefing that we above mentioned, he exposed the barrel and said it was empty and that there were no other containers. I asked the above mentioned, where is the materials were? The above mentioned said that he did not know. I told him that I had no doubt that he was alive and that he had lied through the entire story. The above mentioned said that at the beginning he had said that the materials in the vehicle, but afterwards he began to lie because the interrogator did not believe him. I told him that this version would be checked and that it better turn out to be true. If not, was arrested on Wednesday, 19th of May 2004, just a month after getting